that. So appropriate today.
Do you love me?
Hey guys, it's Adam. How are you? Brilliant. Oh my god. So, today's video, bit weird. As you can tell by the title, something's going on with me. And we're about to talk about it. So, long story short, I think I'm non-binary or genderqueer. I don't fully know. This video is very much reminiscent of my friend Mariah. She has her own channel. Obviously, I'll link it below. She's transgender and she documents a lot of her transition on her channel. So obviously, like I say, if you're interested, she will be linked down below. But a lot of her channel is very chill. She just sits down and when she feels like filming, she just sits and films and talks about whatever's going on, especially in terms of her transition. And this video is very much going to be kind of inspired by her because I have a lot going on in my head at the moment and I just wanted to talk about it because I have this little platform here where I feel like, one, this could be a learning curve for you lot, and two, you lot can also help me because I don't fully know what's going on. So just as a starter, if you're unaware of what non-binary means, it's basically, I don't fully know either because again, I literally had this kind of realization last night. But I believe non-binary and genderqueer people to be people who don't necessarily identify as male or female. They just kind of like sit somewhere between there. And basically last night I was laid in bed and you know how you just sit there and spiral and start thinking about weird shit? That was very much what happened to me last night. And if you don't follow me on any other social media, you probably won't have seen. But recently I did my makeup and wore a wig and it's nothing new to me. I've got 2 wigs and I play around in them all the time. But especially the other night when I did it, I feel like I looked very, very feminine to the point where one of my friends literally was like, "You look like a woman." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." And a lot of them were proper gassing me up, being like, "Oh my god, you should should go out like that. You should totally just wear the wig out, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "That's funny, haha, very funny jokes, but I probably won't do that." But it did get me kind of thinking about pretty much what is going on in this video, which is just my gender identity. So if you can't tell, I do makeup, and I'm also just someone who, I was born, my sex is male, and I've always, up until this point, have literally pretty much just exclusively identified as cisgender male, gay male. See? Woo! But because I wear makeup and because I play around in wigs and stuff like that, obviously I know that those are things that are typically more feminine and something that generally women would do. Obviously I know it's 2020 and we're moving forward and it's not necessarily about that, but there's stereotypically something more feminine. And because of that, I've had a lot of people say to me "Oh, are you transgender? Are you a woman?" A lot of people tend to think I'm a woman, even though I feel obviously I understand the makeup's quite feminine, but I feel like I still present as male. I've always just been, a boy in makeup. That's what I've always said I was, because I am/was. But, people saying stuff like this to me made me question it myself. I was like, am I trans? I don't know. It's never really crossed my mind, not properly anyways. I've never deeply thought into it. So that kind of spiraled me and I had a moment of going oh my god, am I maybe transgender? But especially because one of my closest friends is transgender, especially listening to her experience and her story and stuff like that, I just don't think I am. I don't really identify with a lot of the stuff that she talks about in terms of her transition and stuff like that. For example, I'm not trying to have tits. I'm not trying to have a vagina. I'm not really interested in that. Not that that obviously makes you a woman, but just in terms of on that kind of vibe, that's not really what I'm interested in. I don't want that. Whereas Mariah, she's very interested in having those kind of procedures as part of her transition into a woman. But like I say, I don't want that shit. I'm not trying to have some knockers on this chest. That being said though, I feel like throughout my life I've always been someone who gravitated more towards, again, feminine things. I've always had female friends, blah 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 blah, and I feel especially coming into being just a gay guy, I attributed that very much to just being part of being gay, because I feel like that is a big part of being gay. Is just that you are slightly more effeminate and you do like these things stereotypically anyways. So yeah, I always attributed it to that and didn't really think too deep into it, but now I'm kind of questioning this kind of shit and thinking oh, maybe not. Because when I was younger, I used to dress up in my sister's dresses, and I've always I made my mum buy me a Hannah Montana wig when that was popping. So I've always liked kind of more feminine things, but then at the same time I've never necessarily looked at myself and thought I'm in the wrong body, you know, like I'm quite at home and at peace in terms of my anatomy and stuff like that. Do you mean? I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, like this video is very much I'm just talking at you, and you can tell me below like, oh my god, I know this is a problem, sorry, all my tan washed off my hands where I've been washing my hands. I'm trying to be hygienic, but it makes me look problematic. This makeup's really pretty. But yeah, just like ever since I was younger, I feel like I've always been someone who gravitated towards those kind of feminine things. And again, like I say, I kind of attributed it to maybe just being gay or whatever, especially because that's what I've been told my whole life. Like, oh, you're gay because you like Barbies and shit like that. And then obviously I turned out to be gay because I still am just like attracted to men. Do you mean? Unfortunately, because they're the worst kind of people. But yeah, because I was always told that, it's just kind of what I've thought. Last night, like I say, I was kind of sat there, I was just thinking about my gender identity. Like I say, I don't think I necessarily want to be a woman. I don't feel myself like fitting into that kind of category. And although I've always kind of held on to my masculinity, I feel like I've oftentimes tried really hard to like prove my masculinity regardless of these things. Like for example, like I like the fact that if I'm in full face of makeup, I could still beat a lot of people in a fight. Do you know what I mean? Like I might be small, but I'm fucking strong, and I like that. It's been a weird life. My life's just weird. I feel like all the things that I wanted to say have just kind of like disappeared out of my brain. But anyways, a lot of that stuff, basically, I was just kind of sitting on and thinking about last night. Like, and I just don't think in terms of gender, I really, not conform, what's the fucking word? Adhering to being a woman or being a man. I feel like I'm some sort of weird in between, well not weird, but you know, just somewhere in between that's like not really, well it does have a name, I guess it's non-binary, I guess it's genderqueer. Like I just want to be a human. Like I don't understand why there has to be so much pressure to fit into a certain box. I think a lot of it as well is just that sometimes I feel like really specific pressures to fit into certain boxes as a person. Up until I started thinking about these things, I was always just, you know, a gay cisgendered man. So because I was gay, I liked feminine things, but then because I was still a man, like, you know, I still play PlayStation and I'm still quite strong and do those stereotypical male things as well. And I feel like sometimes I feel pulled in so many different directions of like having to adhere to certain stereotypes and stuff like that, which I just don't want to fucking care about anymore. Okay, so this is like a decent anecdote which might like kind of back up what I'm trying to say as well. It was almost like a year ago now, Bambino Becky's birthday party. On the way there, me and my two friends were traveling up there, and at the train station we all went to the toilet. Obviously they went into the girls, I went to the boys. But I was in like a full face of makeup and stuff like that, and there was these guys looking at me really funny, and I was like, oh, because I'm used to shit like that. I'm used to having, like, I know that people are gonna stare and people are gonna look, but when I see it specifically in like bathrooms when guys are literally looking at this, obviously I panic a little bit because I'm like, they're gonna murder me. So went in, did what I needed to do, and pissed off. Literally. But when I was stood outside, the guys came out and they actually came up to me and they said, hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. Me and my mates were just talking. We're all very straight, comfortable guys, but we just wanted to tell you that you're a beautiful person. I think I might have talked about this in a video before. And obviously, because I thought they were going to murder me, I was very excited that they actually just thought I was pretty. Also, if you don't know, I have a lot of experiences with guys in terms of like, they are straight, they, you know, identify as straight, but they show a lot of interest, romantic kind of interest in me, and it's always pissed me off because I'm always led on and I'm always the person that looks like a twat because I'm the gay guy that's falling for a straight guy, even though they're leading me on. Whatever. Me and Mariah have talked about stuff like this, but I've always thought, I think it's also because they are just attracted to the fact that I'm just like a pretty person. I know it sounds really big-headed, but I am pretty. Like, I just am. And sometimes I think it's just a bit of confusion there. Yeah, like, that they're attracted just to the fact that I'm a pretty person, but then because of, like, you know, what they think in their head about their own sexuality and, like, also just what society expects of their sexuality, I think sometimes they get afraid of that. You know, they'll feed into it a little bit, but then they'll get scared because of, like, yeah, just because of what they have learned and only know. I don't know, it's a really complex fucking thing. But anyways, yeah, so that guy basically saying, I think you're a beautiful person. Thank you so much for that. That's really kind. They carried on with their day. I went on a night out and got smashed. But I think about that a lot because those guys were saying to me that they are straight and they understand that I was a guy. I went into the guys' toilets and I was identifying as a man. Like they said, they were straight and comfortable with themselves, but they also just could see that I was a beautiful person, and even though, like they said, they're straight, they felt some sort of attraction. They could appreciate that I was a beautiful human, and that really stuck with me because I'm like, that's all I really want to be. I just want to be a human. Like, I don't want to have to think about gender. Oh, it's so fucking weird, man. Or woman, or someone in between. I know this is really rambly. I don't really know what I've said. I don't know if I've covered everything that I want to say. But I just wanted to put it out there because I feel like these kind of videos can really, really help people that are maybe in a similar situation to me. They're questioning something, but they have no idea what the fuck they're questioning, because it's 2020 now and you can literally be whatever and whoever you want, which I absolutely love. But it also means that sometimes it can be a little bit more confusing when you're trying to figure it out. There's so much more to it and people are so much more open and ready to have these kind of conversations, which I love. But again, it just means that sometimes it's a bit more confusing on those of us that do actually have to question these things. Because I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I am. Which is a good thing. Not that anyone needs a label. I'm just starting to realise that I don't think I fit into any of these boxes. This is very much a journey as well. So next week I could have a completely new revelation and I have no idea. I just wanted to put it out there so that maybe it'll help you. And also you guys can help me. If you have any idea, like any suggestions on like, things that I could do to figure this shit out, let me know down below. That'd be great. And moving forward, if anyone, any progressive, lovely people, if you're going to ask what kind of pronouns I want to use, I think for now, I'm just going to carry on as is. I'm still kind of questioning it. It's not set in stone. I don't really know what's going on. Because I know that a lot of non-binary and genderqueer kind of people use they as opposed to he or she. I don't think I'm there yet. So I think he, him, his, fine. Amazing, thank you. A lot of this stuff is internal, so externally, not a lot is going to change. I'm just going to carry on as I am. It's just something that I wanted to open up about. So yeah, like I say, he, him, his, absolutely fine. Not too much is going to change, just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, that's literally it for this video. Sorry, I know it's like kind of deep. It's not always like this. If you're new, subscribe. Illy, thanks. Fuck. I'm actually kind of getting properly back on it now. I think this is actually my second video in a row in terms of like uploading weekly, so that's really good. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy, then make sure you subscribe. Like I say, it is quite fun here when I'm like posting not like coming out videos, I guess. Make sure you go follow me on all my social medias if you would like to, please. TikTok, love her. Instagram, love them. See what I did there? Bit of non-binds, little bit of non-binary action there. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week for another new video. Bye! Bye! Why was I a sheep?